Archives of Prasar Bharati presents the timeless treasure of golden era.
The trunk of an elephant, gentle, sensitive, as ancient and enigmatic as the jungle, and as wise. We will need all the wisdom we can muster to probe the secrets of Wondrous Kabini.
We are in Kabini, in the southern state of Karnataka. From the airport in Bangalore, we have to head 220 kilometers past the former princely capital of Mysore, the railhead 80 kilometers, into the jungles of the largest interlinked block of national parks in our land. Our destination is the southern fringes of the Nagaholi National Park. In Korapur is the state-run Kabini River Lodge. Rooms such as these in the lodge cost 1,300 per person, inclusive of all meals and 2 forest rounds every day.
We had got delayed on the way that first day, so we drove out that evening in Kabini jeeps just to see the lie of the land. On the highway that pierces the national park, we stopped and looked back. There, as unhurried as a senior citizen taking a stroll, a wild elephant swayed out of the forest and across the highway. Minutes later, he vanished into the forest. It was a good omen.
We decided to start our morning drive as early as we could. We drove out at dawn. The forest breathes softly, sleepily in the morning. It feels as gently damp as a loved one's breath. There's a faint herbal fragrance in the air. We smelt the delicate, musky undertones of loam settled deep under the trees, spiked with the sharpness of growing things. It's an aroma that stirs the senses and makes one astonishingly alert.
We drove on. To the right of the road was a tall stand of teak. To the left of the road, they had clear-felled the forest, planting it with teak in the hope of getting quick, rich returns when the trees were harvested. But hopes are not always realized. This plantation was made 12 years ago, we were told.
We looked up. Ambling down the road at a conversational pace were 3 wild elephants. We held our breaths, not daring to start our jeep for fear of disturbing them. They drifted off the road to the teak plantation and filtered through it like moving shadows. The wind, which had been cooling our faces, changed direction and carried our scent to the elephants. They turned, crossed the road, looked suspiciously at us, and hurried into the jungle on our left. We weren't quite ready to face enraged pachyderms on our first morning out in Kabini. We breathed a sigh of relief and began to drive again.
A langur bounded out of the way, and then sat and reviewed our progress. a serpent eagle didn't obviously think much of us.
This blue jay, the great Indian roller, had a quick, snappy snack.
Ah, these bovine folk were having a business breakfast. Generally, however, the Indian bison, the gaur, prefers dining at night. To us, they are the most beautiful of the wild oxen of our planet. There, braced foursquare and regally arrogant, a bison bull stood looking at us. We've been told that cows lead bison herds, but he seemed to be the monarch of this group. He was as burly and sleek as a weightlifter in a tight satin suit. Then, all 900 kilos of bull bison merged into the jungle. We had a feeling we'd meet again.
This part of the national park is lush and green because it is well watered. Through the trees we saw the backed up waters of the dammed Kabini River.
This map gave us a good idea of the terrain. This is the dam across the Kabini River. The jungle lodge where we are staying is here at the edge of the backed up waters. Right now we are here at this lake.
The problem with going to a popular place, however, is that others may have got there before you. But the Nagahole National Park spreads over 642 square kilometers, and so you're not really likely to meet many of your fellow men and women in the jungle. At the lake, however, when the level of the water is low, it could become a little crowded.
A ride on a coracle basket boat is an interesting experience, though the more timid tend to feel a bit like a chicken being floated out to the village fair. In the height of the breeding season, these weather-polished trunks become nurseries, creches and kindergartens for young birds. Today, however, they were a waterscape painted by Salvador Dali for Star Trek.
The lake, however, is not for the recreation of tourists only. Clearly, an elephant had been here not so long ago. Its huge print had been left in the soft mud of the banks.
The sun was fairly high in the sky by this time, and the crisp, clean air of the forest had made us hungry. The strict vegetarians were hungry too. Spotted deer with coats simulating sun-dappled forests merge when they stand still in a dry forest, but appeared when they moved running through a green forest. The great Indian squirrels dined in the penthouse. Then we were driving through the village and its spreading fields on our way to the resort.
The reception building has the very Teutonic double-headed eagle crest of old Mysore. It was once the hunting lodge of the warrior Maharajas.
Today, the routine of the resort calls for a pre-breakfast round of the forest and then unwinding all the way through the peaceful day.
lunch, like all the other meals, is had buffet style in the thatched and circular Golgar within sight of the lake. Then, more relaxing in the afternoon. We asked first-time visitor Sheetal Desai from Bombay if she had seen wildlife in Kabini.
Yeah, I've seen so many of them. Elephants, bisons, wild boars I saw. Different kinds of birds which I've never seen.
But even experienced wildlife watchers like Shaila and Raja Reddy from Bangalore can't get enough.
I come here about twice a year. That's the minimum. I just love to see wildlife.
Yeah, we're here always for his anniversary. I mean, our anniversary or for his birthday. And this place is so comfortable for children and us. Like, food is good, and the people around here are very nice.
Their zeal fired ours, and we were bubbling with enthusiasm when we drove out on the afternoon round. This was clearly our get-to-know the bisons evening. Bisons, according to the experts of our Bombay Natural History Society, are shy and retiring beasts in spite of their massive size. Well, perhaps no one's told the bison, or another perhaps we were just lucky.
But elephants have their pride too. They did not want to be upstaged by mere bison. And even a baby got into the act.
A jungle cock ran helter-skelter across the road. Evening always draws the dark curtains of dusk too soon in Kabini. Even the samba seemed to be racing against the clock. Who glances at clocks in Kabini anyway?
Except in the morning, that is. The first round could drive out as early as 5:30, and it's a great time to be out.
Dew sparkled on the nests of these spiders like otherworldly aliens spreading their wings.
The termites had left their ventilating shafts open to cool their clay cities of 1 million inhabitants. We looked closer. A shaft had been damaged by a large creature. 2 hours later, the damage had been repaired. The termite equivalent of building the Taj Mahal in 3 days.
The sandalwood trees, seeded from a helicopter, we were told, looked misty green. Sandalwood taps the roots of other trees when it is young, and all sandalwood trees belong to the government. We entered the forest.
You don't have to make your forest rounds by jeep. In Karnataka, you can also do it on an elephant back. You climb onto a special platform to mount your great steed. And then you sway away into the forest. You return after you've done your own Indiana Jones bit. Even if you don't opt to ride an elephant, do visit the elephant camp. It was in this camp that the Hollywood star of the 40s, Sabu, was discovered. We discovered another unnamed star. These elephants spend the night in the forests and return every morning. In the forests of the night, the females mate with wild bulls, and, in course of time, baby elephants are born. And, before they get old enough to work, they have the time of their lives.
Many young elephants seem to be spoilt brats. In the afternoon, we drove to the floodplains near the lake and met placid Mama Elephant and her unruly son. Her son didn't like us and he wanted to prove to Mama what a big boy he was and how he could defend her. He put on quite a macho show.
Later, we asked the legendary Colonel John, Papa Wakefield, how he dared to take us so close to wild elephants in an open jeep.
I've been doing this for 8-9 years now, every day. And I feel quite sure that some of these elephants recognize me, and I will only take that liberty with elephants that I recognize, wild ones. And I'm sure that it's not the sight of the human being, but it's the scent that they recognize more than anything else.
Then we had a heart-wrenching experience with an elephant. This mother elephant is blind in one eye and she is 45 years old. She shouldn't really have a calf, but she did. We had seen the calf walking beside her yesterday. She didn't seem to know that tragedy had struck her, that her little baby was lying lifeless on the soft green grass. We looked away, not wanting to exploit her loss. A herd of elephant grazed as if it had abandoned this lonely mother and her little dead calf. We looked back. And the baby moved. It rolled over and went back to sleep. She woke it and it staggered to its stumpy little feet. Then it began to suckle its mother. We almost clapped and cheered and threw our hats in the air, and if we could have shaken her trunk and clapped her on the back, we would have done so.
We drove around. A hoopoe played a heap big, busy red Indian chief, Ugh. A Nilgiri langur fled to a green apartment where a crested hawk was surprised at this intrusion. A flying fox batman stretched and went to sleep. Robin, a bonnet macaque, in his fashionable bowl haircut, had a quick snack. A hive of bees buzzed cooperatively.
A lone tusker chomped on a vast, leisurely vegetarian lunch. He needs no dhaba restaurant sign to say meals ready. They always are in Kabini.
Two young elephants sparred like schoolboys, wrestling to be king of the castle. One retreated, was pursued. They fought again. Across the wide screen plain, dusted with dust, bison and elephants lived in harmony, which is the normal state of all living things, or almost all living things.
Back in the Golghar, we sat around the campfire on our last night in Kabini. We had found a certain understanding, a certain serenity here which is often missing in other busier places. We were tempted to stay on, but in the leaping flames of the campfire, we saw glorious visions of the ancient core of India. Ahead of us lay the beckoning mysteries of the great heartland.